Welcome to the Hamumu Halloween Home Horror Hoedown, the podcast where we watch scary movies so you don't have to.
From award-winning to completely unknown, we take them all way too seriously.
I'm your host, Mike Hommel.
And I'm your host, Solange Hommel.
Now, warning, we use a ghoulish number of spoilers, so watch the movies first.
Second warning, we don't know anything about anything, so don't take us seriously as we take these movies seriously.
We could close the windows, but why would we?
No! Khaled, no!
So
Speaking
you
of
say
TikTok.
you're addicted to TikTok?
Oh, there was a big one. It's gonna be loud.
It's Halloweeny around here with pouring rain and thunder and lightning, and we have the windows open.
We are so suffering from TikTok withdrawal
TikTok, my love.
in this house because TikTok is no longer allowed here for
No TikTok.
political reasons.
Yeah.
That we watched a TikTok-based horror movie for this episode.
A TikTok adjacent horror movie.
No. I mean,
A
yes,
TikTok
and.
starring horror. Yeah, see? Yes, and. A TikTok starring horror movie.
Okay, I think it goes even further than that because they're not just the people who are on TikTok. They are playing their characters on TikTok.
Yeah, I mean, they are, but they aren't.
They're-
Because I think their characters are ghost hunters that happen to be their names. Update. After we recorded this podcast, I saw a review that said I couldn't separate these characters from who they actually are when they're doing ghost investigations. And I was like, what? So I looked on YouTube, and it turns out Call Me Chris and Selena Spooky Boo actually do normal ghost hunting things. You know, quote unquote, real life ghost hunting. So, hey, sorry we didn't know that, but that's a thing they do. Bye. I don't know.
Do you think so?
It's kind of unclear to me.
I feel like they're being themselves, but they're being their TikTok persona selves, like not their actual selves, but the selves that everyone who watches them on TikTok thinks they are.
Who are these TikTokers?
Well, I don't know because I don't know anybody's names.
Oh,
One of them is Chris something,
it's Call Me Chris.
Okay.
And I don't know what her name is.
and the other one is
Selena Spooky Boo,
okay.
who has a sleepwalking problem.
Right. I know Call Me Chris as being the one who does she does skits where she's all the characters and they just wear like different hats and have different accents, and she's hilarious.
I feel like we're doing a seance.
And I have seen Selena's TikTok where she is supposedly sleepwalking and doing crazy things, and that's like the fun of it is that we get to participate. We get to observe her as a sleepwalker.
Yeah, I think she's more of a this is really me kind of TikToker, you know, like I'm a relatable, fun person and I'm just being myself. Whereas
the
Chris is putting on skits and
Yeah, it's
performing.
possible. It's possible. Here's the thing. Because of everything that has happened on social media and AI and everywhere else, am now an absolute skeptic and
oh yeah.
and naysayer of all things. So there's a small part of me that thinks that she's faking.
I'm
the
not saying
sleepwalking
it's
part.
real. I don't know if it's real or not. I'm just saying that's the bit.
Yes.
The bit is
Yes.
a real, genuine type of person as
Yes.
opposed to a over-the-top character.
True. And Chris's bit is that like she has all these actual characters, named characters that she plays, but I think she also has like even when she's being herself in the movie, they are definitely leaning into the idea that she's just really bossy and self-centered and that's who she is.
What I think about this movie is that it's called House on Eden from 2025.
I think it's a good idea that you actually told them what movie we're talking about. So these two TikTok famous people, and a third person who I think is, from what I read, is actually like the an editor or somebody who works with Chris. They all go out into the woods. They are pretending to be, or in this movie, their characters, the two women, their characters are ghost hunters, and they're out there looking for ghosts.
Actually,
please mansplain this to me.
It doesn't
no, I'm just kidding.
sound like he has worked with her. That's his character in the movie. Is he works with her?
Oh, I thought I read that on there too.
In real life, it seems like his name is Jason Christopher Mayer, and he has done lots of short videos, music videos, and in 2010, he made his debut feature, Nobody Gets Out Alive, which I haven't seen. It sounds so familiar, but I'm thinking of Nobody Sleeps in the Woods Tonight, which is an entirely different movie.
I thought I had read somewhere that he had some connection to them,
I
but
mean, it's very possible.
I could be wrong too. So anyway, they are all out looking for ghosts. They go to a house in the middle of nowhere, and while they are at this house, Chris gets possessed by a demon named Lilith, who was cursed way back in the time of Eden because
Eden, that's a connection. I didn't get that.
Yeah, I just made that connection too. Way back in the time of Eden, because she was the original Eve and was too sassy and didn't like Adam bossing her around. So she left, and the angels were like cursed to never bear children. And now she punishes men and tries to possess pregnant women so that or fertile women so that she can walk the earth and become a mother.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the story in a nutshell, is that Chris is being possessed and the other two are there for the ride.
And the other story is that these three are ghost hunter people. They do a YouTube show or whatever where they, look at spooky places and show the videos. And so they're going on their little adventure, not actually to the house on Eden. They're supposed to be going to some graveyard somewhere. And they're all excited about how it's going to be great. But Chris has a secret plan that she's heard about this house on Eden. And she's like, let's go there first, and then we'll go to the graveyard. Spoiler, they're not going to get to the graveyard.
They are not going to get to the graveyard. Yeah. That's the first sign that there's trouble amongst the group, because she's like, I thought you would like it. And they are like, why are you always telling us what to do?
Yeah. I think this rain is loud. But that's okay.
It's ambiance.
It's severe ambiance.
Or it's going to make the sound terrible. So, what stands out from this movie?
Well, I have an important note that it is a found footage movie.
It is.
That stands out.
I actually thought that it was one of the better found footage movies. You made a face.
What made you think that?
Well, okay, here's the thing. I felt, possibly because these two interact in real life and know each other in real life, I thought they did a pretty decent job of keeping conversation and interaction going, because so often in found footage movies, especially ones where there's not a script, it's not like carefully written out and rehearsed and memorized and all that, you end up with someone is told like the gist of what the scene is supposed to do, and then they literally can't think of anything to say other than like shouting the other person's name over and over again.
Oh yeah, you gotta do that.
Or like saying the same thing, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, over and over again. Like there's no spontaneously, people have a hard time coming up with dialogue.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is not in the tier of the movies I usually watch on Tubi. This is more like a real movie.
Yes.
But,
Which, I mean, I think because when we started it, I was like, oh, these are TikTokers. To have it end up being in the tier of an actual movie rather than a Tubi movie, I was like, impressive, you guys.
Yeah, I think they did a good job of being real people.
Another thing I liked about it that I don't usually like about, or a problem that I usually have with found footage, is that when, like, there were definitely a couple times where someone dropped a camera and it was like strategically pointed at exactly the place it needed to be. But for the most part, there was a reason why. Like, someone intentionally put a camera down because they were trying to catch footage of something that was going to happen in a room. So it felt more like organic, I guess. But also when dramatic things were happening and they do that like flail the camera around thing, I very rarely got lost in that. And often I'm just like, I get so discombobulated and pulled out of the story because I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, I think it was
fast.
more calm than usual in that regard. That was good.
And in those moments, it was slow enough and like careful enough that they could have. Why is there only like thunder coming from that side of the house?
Sometimes it moves around.
It was slow and careful enough in times that they could fit something unexpected, even in those like the camera's flailing around and oh wait, who's that in the corner?
Yeah. That
was startling. And I liked that.
I think that is a good lesson. Like, people try so hard. They get all up in their heads about, oh, it's got to be real. So we're running around and the camera's just hanging there. Mm-hmm. No one's going to get mad if your characters are weirdly good at keeping the camera steady. You know, it's not realistic, but it's more realistic than the dialogue you've written. So come on.
Well, and also, we don't know what it looks like when a camera runs. Like, it doesn't look like anything.
Yeah.
So nobody wants to watch that. Give us the impression that you are running while we are still able to consume the media that you are giving us.
Yes, that would be nice. No one's actually thinking this is real, so you don't have to worry about that so much.
Yeah.
When I was searching for movies this day, I found one that I thought was interesting, some haunted house movie that sounded like it had an interesting plot. So I had that at the ready, and you still weren't in the room, so I'm like, well, what am I going to do except keep flipping through movies? And then I came across one with TikTokers, and I was like, oh no, I am intrigued. I think this will be fun, but if I show this to her, there will be no other movie choice. This will be the movie.
You were so right about that.
I know.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, we have to watch that. We have no choice.
Yeah, that's how it felt.
That's funny that you knew that.
Compelling.
It was. Because the fingers of TikTok reach far beyond.
They do.
It's bad, and I'm glad that I'm not on it anymore.
Well, here's the thing. You spend 17 hours a day flipping through Facebook.
Whatever.
So
you're not wrong about that.
I know. I count them.
But that's just because I spend 17 hours a day disassociating from the world.
I was just hearing about that. That's what social media does, and dopamine hits and all that. And yeah, it's bad.
It is upsetting. There have definitely been multiple days in the last month where I sit down on the couch thinking, you're playing your game. I sit down, it's after dinner, and I'm like, you know what? I want to watch X on TV. X being whatever show I want to watch. There's not a show called X.
There might be. Do you want to watch it?
No.
Oh.
And then somehow, before I manage to turn it on, sometimes in the midst of turning it on, because like I have to go to the right channel, and then I have to get to the right section of the right channel, and then I have to, like there's like
it's
four button
overwhelming.
pushes.
Nobody can do all of that in one sitting.
In the midst of those button pushes, especially if it's like Netflix, which takes a whole 2 seconds to load.
I mean, yeah. You can't be expected.
I will already be looking at my phone, and I will not stop looking at my phone, and it'll suddenly be 10:30 at night, and I'm like, oops. I never watched the thing I wanted to watch. I didn't do the crafting I wanted to do because my brain just wanted to slowly flip through Facebook reels.
This is a thing that I have been feeling concerned about lately and have taken some steps regarding. Accidental step was deleting TikTok, unfortunately.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, the various dudes involved in that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so embarrassingly bad. That's like, oh, China might be taking your data. Here, we're going to buy it so we can definitely take your data. Like, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was one step. But then here's the trick that I have done is I no longer look at my phone in the bathroom. I set it down and I'm just on the toilet like a caveman.
That is actually really smart.
It's a new experience, and it's being at one with the universe.
Interesting.
instead of lost in a digital world.
Yeah, that's interesting. I have a goal. Haven't actually started doing it yet, but maybe tonight's the night. I have a
Maybe.
goal of plugging my phone in at night in the kitchen and not having it anywhere near the bedroom, because at night when I'm trying to fall asleep, I end up
know.
scrolling through and like watching a dozen rug cleaning videos.
Yeah.
And then in the morning, the very first thing I do is open it up and check my email, where I see all the terrible news that's happened in the last 12 hours.
Yeah, that's something
It's not
I've been
helpful.
avoiding lately, because I will often open up Blue Sky and just see what. I'm always checking in to see who's still alive and who isn't, because that's what I'm most interested in. But I do that, and it sets the very wrong tone
Yeah.
for the day, because it's always terrible, terrible, terrible news.
Yeah.
And so what I try to do is just not do that. Like, if I'm going to lay in bed, then I'm just going to lay in bed, and that's how that's going to be. And then when I get up, well, I don't need my phone. I can just go and do whatever I need to do. Eat breakfast, start working on my stupid application reviews, all of that.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes there's a lot you have to do when you work at a foundation. It's hard work.
Aw, boo-hoo.
Don't boo-hoo at me.
Aw.
Don't. That sounds like a ghost, and it's very scary.
Speaking of ghosts,
A
and going
ghost
back,
followed by an owl.
speaking of ghosts, I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. Speaking,
Boo, hoo. Boo, hoo. Yes.
speaking of that, and taking us back to what we're supposed to be doing right now, which
What
is
are we
talking about a
supposed to do?
movie,
Oh.
I have a question. There was a little bit of a secondary story or related story, I don't know exactly, about how they stopped at a convenience store or
Yeah.
something on the way to the, as they were traveling, and they saw a creepy a lady who was giving off a creepy vibe in the convenience store. She was like sitting in a corner in a wheelchair, like staring at them in her nightdress. And then she's the one who's there later, right?
Yeah, she is. And she also said congratulations to Chris in the store. So
Right.
she's Lilith, but she's in the store in a wheelchair?
Maybe she's the last person that Lilith
Oh,
possessed.
that sounds good. Okay.
But here's the thing. Chris ends up in the attic, laying on the ground on her back, like all possessed and unconscious and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
A woman comes and like stands over Chris or hunches over Chris, like cuts her own throat, bleeds all over her, dies, and then I assume the
Yeah.
spirit of Lilith
I mean,
passes into
That
Chris.
fits your previous statement. I think that makes sense.
But we don't actually see who that is. We never see that woman's face. So I was wondering if that was actually Selena playing that role.
Why
Like
would
that
they
she-
do that? That's crazy.
Because fewer people to hire.
But they had already hired the old lady.
Okay, but she was an old lady. Like, it might be that woman didn't want to go up into the attic and, get naked in
Yeah.
front of the camera and whatever. And that Selena played that role.
Well, Barb Thomas played Lilith, and I feel like that means the old lady in the attic at the very least, and probably the other old lady.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So, any thoughts on that whole situation? Because there's also scenes where there's a bunch of people gathered around a giant bonfire.
Yeah, that's a
just
whole
like
thing.
making a big circle and like staring up into the sky and
Yeah,
whatever.
that is not explained. That's obviously some ritual worshiping Lilith, and Chris, after being possessed, just walks out of the house and goes to that fire. And does she get in the fire? I don't know.
I don't remember. They like slather her with something and like there was like a whole ritual out there.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure exactly what happened. I don't think she would have gotten into the
It
fire.
seems like that would be very counterproductive.
because the whole point is that Lilith wanted to walk the earth, and burning up your host body seems like a bad way to do that.
Yeah, that makes you kind of
Non-walking.
limp the earth at best
Float on the air around the earth
in little bits.
as ash and smoke.
Yeah.
Hello, Thunder.
I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to edit this episode. It will be interesting. So, listeners, if you hear a bunch of very cut off, weird thunder moments, that's because I had to cut thunder.
Maybe you're just going to have to leave all my ums and ahs in.
Just have it be an hour long of just rolling thunder.
Yes, of us just randomly talking about how upset we are about the world.
Yeah. Isn't that what our podcast always is?
Yeah, usually.
This movie did not speak to me. It was fun to see goofy TikTokers being in it, but there was like nothing to it. It was just, it was your usual found footage, cheapo, nothing going on kind of movie. And I think it was pretty well done in that regard, like the acting and the camera work and the fact that it had a plot instead of no plot. But overall, it's just like, meh. Like they're just, the first third of the movie is them kind of driving and walking to get to this place, and it's not that interesting. You know, it's supposed to be character building and all, but bleh. And they play hide and seek. And,
In the woods?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I don't know. I have very little to say about this movie, I feel
Chris
like.
fully falls down the stairs.
Yeah, that happened. But that was later. That was not in the woods.
No.
I do want to point out, speaking of being in the woods, that this house on Eden, which Eden must be the name of a road if it's the house on Eden, is not on any road. It's in the middle of a field. The whole woods they go through is clearly mowed, which is fascinating. But then they end up at this house. It's a nice suburban house. They comment on the fact that it's completely clean and not dusty at all, which is funny because it's magic.
Very elegantly furnished.
Yes. And they claim that like there's no road or anything to this house, and it's just because they're not putting the camera where the driveway is. Like they want us to think this house is stuck in the middle of the woods, but it doesn't make any sense at all. So that's weird and fun and really weird. But yeah, I'm just gonna give this 2 dropped cameras out of 5. Not much going on for me.
Okay. That's fair. I thought it was really clever of them to take what was clearly a lived-in home
Yeah.
and make it look like it's not believable that it's out in the middle of the woods because of how it looks inside and how like well kept it is and whatever. And because they clearly walk through many mowed fields to get to it.
Yeah, you pointed that out, and I was like, "Oh yeah."
Well,
I'm not a woods guy, but that makes sense.
Well, it wasn't even the woods. It was like they were in a field, and I'm like, the only reason I even noticed it was that half of it was really short and half of it was really long. I'm like, that
doesn't just happen.
somebody made that happen. But I thought it was clever that they were so careful about how they shot things and how they framed things that there was no evidence that it wasn't in the woods.
Other than your brain going, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought that was clever. Perhaps I was primed because I like these 2 TikTokers.
Definitely.
To think more positively of this movie. I agree. There was nothing like elaborate about it. It wasn't a unique story in any way. Chris is like, I looked up Lilith expecting to find nothing on Google. And I'm like, what? That's dumb. Because A, there are lots of people named Lilith. That is not an unheard of name.
And lots of major characters in literature and video games.
Because B, Lilith as a like mythical religious character is a well-known character.
Yeah.
This isn't even a B-side character. So anyway, I don't know. There's nothing elaborate or fancy about it, but I thought it was like a good, solid found footage movie about a haunting. I don't know. It was fine. It was good. I am going to give it 3 dropped cameras out of 5.
All right.
It was also, they kept it short. They didn't try to like pad it with a bunch of extra garbage that was unnecessary. And I get so mad when movies, I'm like, that needed to be cut. You knew it needed to be cut. And the only reason you didn't cut it is because you wanted to have 5 more minutes of movie. And so
Yeah.
now I have to watch you walk through the woods silently for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's stupid. And they didn't do that. There was a lot of walking through the woods, but they were like doing their character development and like showing the cracks in the, triad of friendship as it went.
Yeah.
Also, I thought it was hilarious when Selena tried to hide behind trees.
That was funny.
So yeah, 3 out of 5. I'm good with that.
Okay. Well,
And now our podcast on this movie is almost as long as the movie was itself.
yeah. It's getting there.
All right. Bye.
Bye. See you next time.
Because TikTok's... There was a thing at the beginning. And now you're just like, I'm not a part of your bit.
Do your bit. Do your bit.
You're not yes-anding me.
I'm gonna yes and you right now. You do your bit, and there's gonna be yeses everywhere.
Damn it. This is why I don't spontaneously do things.
I have no idea what I'm supposed to do.
You did it at the beginning. You were just like, because TikTok's not allowed.
Yeah.
You like were part of it. You acted like you understood what I was saying.
I do understand. I miss TikTok.